Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am Leah with Ode to Paper, and I'm here with a process video for Nicole Jones 911 Designs. So I have some products. I basically put a page kit together. I'm not sure why I put so many of these plaid pieces in here, but I don't end up using them all. Spoiler alert. I think I only used two. So I have several pieces in this kit that won't get used. But it's always better to have too much than not enough, right? So I'm going to show you all of the um, printouts that I'm going to use from Nicole's shop. I have some 2-inch viewfinders, some speech bubble words, some labels. Um, what else have I got? Arrows with words, tab, tons of stuff. So I'm going to decide on my background, and I do end up going with the blue as my main background. I have these two photos of Colton and Papa Bart on the quad, so I'm going to just trim those up and get them matted. Now I am going to mat them with that plaid paper. It was a really good match, but that's pretty much the only place I use the plaid paper on this layout. This is an 8.5 by 11 layout. I do several different sizes of scrapbooking, and I always have several different albums going, different sizes. So this will go in the 8.5 by 11 album, and I will get those mounted on the green and then the plaid. I love this color palette. It's just such a fun and bright and alive palette that I really enjoy working with it. So I think I'm going to skip ahead here in a moment just to get past all of this matting. Like I said, I only end up using two of those plaid cards, and just for matting, that's all I use them for. So the other ones will go back in my stash. And at this point, I decide I'm going to frame that blue sheet of paper with the white, just to give it a finishing touch. And I really like how that worked out. So we'll get that stuck down. And the next we're going to focus on laying the photos down and the title. Now I have this pre-made title I really want to use because number one, I think it's the only way I'm going to be able to use it. It says boys and their toys, which is totally appropriate because Colton is a motorhead and always was. And, Papa likes his toys as well. So I'm going to get that placed down after I place my photos. The title is blue, green, and purple. So this is where the blue and the green come in, but then I need to incorporate some purple, which you'll see me do at the very last step. So it's not a huge amount of purple, but it does tie in with that purple in the title, so it all works out well. So I will. Now, I wanted to use ribbon. I had two pieces of ribbon. Well, one piece of ribbon and one piece of rickrack in this kit. I do end up nixing the ribbon and going with the rickrack. These flowers, I don't use them at all. They don't fit. They don't match. That's okay. I mean, they match, but they just don't fit with the theme of the photo. I don't have a problem using flowers on boy layouts, but this one just did not call for it. So I have these washi strips, and I have no idea where they're from. I ended up with a whole bunch of them. So I've been plugging away and using them up. They do match this layout, and there's that nice wide rickrack that I'm going to end up putting down. It gives the page a very nice texture. It also gives the photos a resting place, which I really like. And these are very old silver rub-ons. And I do end up getting 3 of them on the page. So I'm happy with that. I have several of these packages that I ended up with as well. That's another thing I'm trying to work through. So whenever I make up a page kit, I try to get them in there somehow. These are colored labels from, I believe, Dollarama. And, one of the handiest things is all these labels. I just love them. So I put this big green label from Nicole Jones down. And I'm going to layer up one of the label stickers from Dollarama, as well as the 2-inch viewfinders, a smaller round label, and then one of the arrows with words. And this just creates a perfect cluster. And of course, that label needed something in it. So one of the silver rub-ons finds its way right onto that perfectly sized label. Hey, that's perfect. So I will get that cluster down. And I believe after that cluster is when I realize I'm going to glue down. Yes, I'm going to glue down that rickrack so that I make sure I can place it properly and place my clusters around it, underneath it, not, covering something up that I don't want to cover up. Now, of course, we know it's fabric. It's going to take some gluing. Yeah. It's there. It hasn't come off yet. And this was like a month ago I made this, so it's good. I'm going to add some more glue to certain parts of it, though, just to be on the safe side while I'm doing this voiceover. And then I'm going to decide on my other cluster placements. Now, I already know I wanted that rub-on hello at the top, so that's going to be another cluster. So you'll see when I do these clusters, I have that first one that I did down on the bottom right is my largest cluster. And then that one at the top of the photos on the left is going to be my medium-sized cluster. And then the one that I'm doing on the left just below the rickrack will be my small cluster. So I do have that speech bubble word. It says LOL on it because Colton was having a gas and laughing his head off. He is such a happy boy most of the time. It's love to see his smile. And then I'm going to get that third rub-on down at the bottom that says you are totally amazing. The one at the top of the left-hand photo says hello. Just kind of seemed appropriate. Papa Bart and I were out on the quad that day when we stopped by Haley's place just to say hello. All right, so I will get some of these cut out and placed down. I don't know what happened, but I'll see you again next time.